Using your magic to create your reality for a better life. Yes, you beautiful human being, you do have magic within you, and it is not some wand shooting sparks out of it. It is not some hocus pocus in a cauldron. It is some real powers within you that start when you realize them and start to live your life intentionally from your own power. I learned this kind of the hard way because for so long I had an amazing life like in front of me, but I wasn't realizing it. I wasn't creating from that blessing that was already there for me. I had so much going on inside that was damaging and self-destructive that the only way that I climbed out of that to find my own magic was through a lot of detoxification in my mind, body, and spirit. And through those layers of detoxification, in order to bring myself back and repair myself back into wholeness, I had to create myself whole again. And it was a huge learning lesson for me because I couldn't take any other methods out there as truth. I literally had to take bits and pieces and follow the breadcrumbs back into completion and wholeness. Not saying that I'm like 100% there, but I'm definitely on my way. There is a magic within you that when you intentionally use it, you will separate yourself from the world and enter into your own reality, and you will be able to create what it is that you want for yourself. Now, we cannot forget about the momentum that has been created from your past decisions. And this is a really important thing that I think is forgotten about in the ultra spiritual world, that a lot of people forget about the momentum, the inertia that has been created in your life already. It's a beautiful thing to wake up one day and say that I'm going to change. That's great. Move forward and start creating. But you must remember that the consequences of the actions before you are still going to come to fruition in your life to some extent. The more that you evolve and you climb yourself out and back into wholeness, you will start to wash away and transmute some of that old momentum, but there are times that it can very much prevalently come back. So frustration and like, oh, this isn't working and all this stuff can come into play in people's psyches. They think that there's nothing there for them because whatever it is that they're doing isn't working, and so on. But it really is. You may not reap the benefits of the now moment for some time. And I hope this makes sense to people. Cuz it's something that I see that really gets in the way of people truly stepping into their magic, is that they're still dealing with some of the momentum of the consequences. And yet they just get lost in that momentum. So when we step into our power, when we start to dig inside, here is a place that I found to really bring about the change in your life and to really bring about and use the magic within you. This world will complicate everything. This world will continue to fragment you if you let it. You will experience hardships. You will experience different things. The world is going to just promote fear-based ideas, beliefs into your mind. And if you do not create some way to deal with it, you will not climb out of it. You will not separate yourself out of what they call the matrix or what they call the 3D or whatever people want to call it. You will stay in that. But when you step out of it and you look back on it like a snow globe, that is when you start to create what it is that you want. And you can take bits and pieces of everything that you have heard. You must create your own way to pull yourself out, to deal with it. That is positive, that is beneficial for you as a human being. There is not one way that one person will follow, and if the other person does it the same exact way, it's not going to operate the same for them. It must come from authenticity. That's your first step in claiming your power, is the authenticity of what it is that you are starting to do within you. If your mind is focusing on what is going on in the world, if the mind is focusing on aspects of your life, that's not really where you're going to find yourself using your magic. When you start to use your magic, your creation, is when you start to develop skills within you to deal with all these different aspects of your life. It's not that I found myself always thinking about different aspects of my life. I developed this skill inside of me that whenever something would happen, in my mind, I trained my mind to not think of something on the same way every single time. So if I had a ball in front of me in my mind, it's like some people, they look at the ball the same way over and over and over and over and over again. They reaffirm the same aspect of that ball. But a ball is a sphere. And I created this like system. I trained my mind that when I would look at things or process life, to constantly be turning that ball around, to constantly be looking at it in a new way. When I would revisit it, it would look differently. I would learn new things from it. One other side of the magic that I started to create is I learned to not label anything. I constantly started to affirm labelless ideology within me. It takes like momentum to do this. You have to focus on it for a while. What would you rather focus on? You don't have to think about work. You don't have to think about your life like you think you do, because it's going to take care of itself. But yet people find themselves thinking and stressing about the things in their life. So they're just reaffirming it over and over and over again instead of learning to disconnect and start to create something different within them. New outcomes, new perceptions. To learn whatever it is that life is trying to teach you. But when we start to focus on not distracting ourselves and to start to truly create, the one big thing is to constantly teach yourself to not look at things the same way over and over and over again. If you find yourself having the same conversation repeatedly, it is a red flag for you. It's a red flag. And I'm indecisive. Indecisiveness is something I struggle with that my partner helps me with a lot, because she is like, just do it and get it done, man. And I will analyze every aspect of my decision. And sometimes I get stuck. So it's a balance. It's a balance. And I can get stuck in whether I want this or that, because I'll look at it from every single angle possible. And sometimes she's just like, babe, just do it. Or like, just get that one. I'm just like, yeah, there's no reason to like focus on, which for tons of time, which pair of headphones to get, because to look into the materials it's made out of and the type of microphone that's in it and all this stuff. It's just like, get the silly pair of headphones. But when it comes to your life, there's nothing better for yourself that you can be doing than to give yourself the creative potential to create within you by not focusing on the external world so much. If you bring the external inside, you are going to repeat the external world. You will regurgitate it over and over and over again. You must create within you an internal world and bring it out into the external world. Be very careful who you are around, because until you kind of have set yourself at a level of self-mastery, you must be very careful who you're around. Because it's very difficult when people around you are regurgitating the fear-based systems that are around you. Yes, prices of things can go high. Things can appear to be in a form of lack, but we do not want to repeat this. We do not want to repeat people that are sick. We don't want to repeat it about, oh yeah, I heard about this guy, this happened. We don't, if it is negative or there is a stitch of fear in it, do not repeat it. And you're going to find how much more your mouth stops moving. I mean, hey, I'm starting a podcast. I make these videos for you guys. I love to conversate with people. I do it for a living. I'm a coach. I spend hours on the phone with people every week talking with them. I love it. I get so much energy from talking with people, but it is a special type of conversation. I do not have small talk conversation with people. My clients, they know that I don't talk about stuff like that. It's not even an option. But I'll talk to them when we have sessions, I am there. We talk and coaching is a very special type of way of communicating. But when we speak in the creative energy, it will give you energy. But when we speak and regurgitate the fear, it crushes our magic. It dampens it. It puts water on it. It crushes the flame. And then you're left there like in a world that you feel powerless in. So when I found my magic and I started to say, hey, if I do this, this happens. And what happens is good, that's your magic. Do it again. Keep repeating what works and what is good for you, and do not repeat what creates outcomes that aren't that good for you. And have the knowing. I'm going to do my best to explain the biggest aspect of what I'm trying to relay to you right now. And here it is. When you step into who you are as a human being, always rely on the knowing that what you want to create will happen. Reaffirm your knowing. You must give yourself time in your life to reaffirm the knowing. That knowing is the foundation for all of your little tricks inside of you to start being a simple, beautiful, manifesting human being. Life wants to come through you. It really does. We must just open our eyes and see what's in front of us. Become a simple person. Rest assured in the knowing of who you are. I've talked a lot of stuff so far in these 14 and a half minutes. These are deep dimensions inside of you. How much time are you giving them time? Take a note. Have a notepad and take a look back on your day and list the things that go through your mind. And then I want you to make a dash and then put an emotion attached to each of those things. The first thing I do in the morning is I look out the window and I focus on the trees and the sun and the sky. And I just say, wow, it's beautiful. And then I get up and I brush my teeth, and I have a moment where I affirm my knowing. You must find your own way in this. It's not about doing 1,000 chants here or there, doing this meditation this guy taught you. It's about creating your own thing. And you will create it if you have an intention to create something. It's what you are. You are a creator. Create it. It may not happen like this, but the truth is that it could. We don't know unless we create. My family, I love you so much. Leave me a comment. Subscribe if you like this video. Pass it on to anyone that could use it. And have a super amazing life and day ahead of you. Many blessings.